Hello and good morning. It is April 30th. Oh, it's my friend Vinny's birthday. Happy birthday, Vinny. I had to text him. Finally, it's nice out. It's finally spring, not winter spring, although it still could happen out here. We could still get snow. I hope everybody's doing well and that you have found ways to make yourself happy since we last talked. What's been on my mind lately is setting boundaries and self-care. If self-care came up, they both come up. They come up, and then I think about it, and then I talk about it. So, the first thing I want to say is I think setting boundaries is self-care. And the second thing I want to say is I think the concept of setting boundaries has been misconstrued and thereby misunderstood, and then thereby anxiety causing, and then thereby very difficult. I don't think it's difficult. I just don't think we're seeing it correctly. So, it is my observation and my practice that setting boundaries is not about telling people what to do in order for you to feel more comfortable. I don't like being told what to do. I'm not going to tell other people what to do. Whether or not I'm comfortable with them is up to me, and it's my responsibility to address it. So I think people think that setting boundaries is you need to stop doing this, otherwise I can't be with you anymore, which to some degree, sure, I think it depends on the thing. Again, and as always, never tolerate abuse. I'm not even sure. Boundaries and abuse are just get the fuck out, right? Do what you can to get the fuck out. And I understand. But it isn't contingent on the person changing their behavior. It is contingent on you determining that you are unhappy, or that it is unsafe, or that it is toxic, or is unhealthy for whatever it is that's happening to continue in the way that it's continuing. And should it continue on that trajectory, you need to make different choices. So I don't know if I need to give examples, but I encourage you to consider the possibility that maybe something you've been trying to set a boundary around is hard because the perspective needs to be shifted. And I do not think that you have to tell people that you're setting the boundary. Not necessarily. It depends. Obviously it depends. Be discerning. Sometimes you just... I think in some cases this is where ghosting is okay. Because if it's real bad, if it's real toxic, and if it really doesn't matter if you continue to know these people or be in this environment anymore, just ghost them. I don't think you have to explain it. If that feels unsafe. Always, if you feel unsafe, don't. If you feel unsafe, it's not a function of being nice. It's a function of being safe and getting out. And again, I think people have problems with boundaries because they think they have to be nice. You don't have to be nice. We've talked about this. Kind is great, but this is your life we're talking about, right? And as an adult, you're responsible for your life and the choices that you make. Yes? So setting boundaries and self-care are about making choices that make your life the life you want it to be. Right? So you're constructing your life. And if there are highways coming through your peaceful pasture of your life and you need that to stop, you stop it, or you move, or you pivot, or you... I don't know if that was a good example or not, but it's about finding peace, right? It's about being in a place where you're happy and peaceful and sated and challenged and excited to be alive, honestly. This whole nonsense of, and we've talked about this nonsense of social conditioning just really warps our concept of happiness and what things are supposed to be. I really hope that we do not return to normal once we're all released back into the wild after all of this. Being in jobs that pay shitty to create convenience for the other people, for other people. We need to stop enabling that. Right? Because it doesn't proffer any respect for the people doing the work. There's just this expectation that if you're the child care provider, oh, I'm really glad you like kids because you're going to get paid shitty. That doesn't need to be like that anymore. And I'm not talking about my previous / somewhat current place, because they do a nice job of paying well and taking care of their people. But it took 20 years for me to find a place like that. And I allowed it because I agreed. I consented to the idea that if I love being with kids, then I got to suck it up and get paid terribly to raise other people's children. Make no mistake, that's what you're doing. Make no mistake. And that is a setup for a conversation for another time, because I don't understand it, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I don't want to do it anymore. It took me a long time to accept that. I've been doing childcare for a really long time, and I do really like kids. I really don't want to do it anymore. I do a little bit right now. It's fine. But that's it. That's it. And that had been I had been allotted a progressive decline in my hours as I was exploring not wanting to be in an environment like that, any childcare situation. And I'm very happy. I'm happy. Here's the thing too. If you recognize that you're in a place that it's time for you to set boundaries for yourself and do some self-care around exiting stage left, something that no longer is making you happy, I think you'll agree with me that it's much better to do it before you get real fucking pissy and it becomes a thing and a trial and an eruption of frustration. Get out before you get there. Be able to exit with calm and with awareness, and but that's self-care, right? It's not creating drama for yourself in order to get yourself out of something. That's the thing we do too, right? We, instead of just coming to a decision about something, we make ourselves sick. We injure ourselves. We get into accidents. I was just telling a friend last night, I worked at a restaurant in Boulder a long time ago, and instead of just quitting, I gave myself shingles and I hurt my knee skiing. So I set it up. Did I do that consciously? No, but because I just was like, but I gotta stay at this job, but I hate this job, and I stay at this job, but I hate this job. Acknowledge that you hate the job and leave the job. That's the most important thing. The rest of it will work itself out. But don't leave the job that you hate for a similar job that you're gonna hate. The key thing is you have to figure out what about it you hated. What about you in that environment you hated? Not them, because they are going to be in the next job. Do you know how that works? If you don't get the whole thing worked out and you're rolling it, it's just going to keep showing up. Next job, different place, same problems. So this is another reason why it's important to get real clear on what we need to make us happy, or what we need to get rid of to be happy. And I don't mean make us happy. I just caught myself. Yeah, I do think that's a problem too. How do I say it? I want to say it's a problem. Yes, you want to be happy. Yes, you want to do things to make yourself happy. Yes, you want to be as self-reliant as possible in creating the life that you want and be happy. But there are still problems, and I don't want to elude that there won't be. Because there will be. And that's okay. You want to know what the problems are. You want to be able to foresee them in advance to the best of your ability so that you have an idea before they come how you're going to deal with them. Mark Manson who wrote The Subtle Art of Giving a Fuck, and I'm sure I've talked about this before. I'm going to talk about it again. One of the many things I got from that book was pick your problems. Know that there's going to be problems in everything you want to do. Which problems do you want to deal with? It makes more sense to me than pick your battles. And I think I know why, and I think it's the same thing, but I like pick your problems better. That's clearer to me. As I slowly build a business, it's only been a month, I realize. It feels like it's been forever. It's only been a month that my tarot business has been active. And it's slow going, and that is okay. I do have moments of being like, what the fuck? I also don't know hooey about marketing, so I'm in this place where I've told everyone I know, and I don't know how to reach people I don't know. But the point is, the idea, the thought of actually being self-reliant financially, working for myself, I'm one step closer. I'm a couple steps closer than just laying around thinking about it and really wishing I could do that. Now I'm doing it. And it's, God, I wish I could. We'll talk more when I'm when I'm financially self-reliant, doing this work. But just it's awesome. So, from my heart to yours, I encourage you to step out of your own construction box of what you think this is supposed to look like, and really observe what you're telling yourself is true or not true about you creating the life that you want to create, and how to set boundaries, what boundaries to set, what to get rid of. I mean, it's your life. Make it your life. Oh, so when you're setting the boundaries, I didn't get to that, sorry. Again, it's not about telling people what to do necessarily. It's you acknowledging that you don't want to do it anymore. It's you acknowledging that you're going to quit bullshitting yourself about why you've been allowing or doing the thing. I would posit that we say, but they're family and I have to. You don't, actually. You don't. So I encourage you to set some boundaries for yourself. Figure out where they are. Figure out what they are. And then acknowledge them and appreciate them. And, you can always move the boundary. Maybe you set the boundary and then you realize a little bit later, maybe it was a little too severe and you can loosen up a little bit. Or you're in a different place now and you can see things from a different perspective and loosen up a little bit. You don't have to, your boundary isn't stuck in stone. Unless it has to be. Again, if we're talking about an abuse situation. But I encourage you to live the life you want to live, because it's your life. All right. We will talk sometime again soon. Okay. Bye.